Good morning. And if I don't see you, good sipping, good cinema, and good night.
Sipping on Cinema begins in 3, 2.
Let me top myself off real quick.
I'm going to top myself off as well.
Nice.
Oh,
yeah.
Hold on, okay.
I like
That's
it.
some ASMR.
That is great.
Wait.
That's really good.
We got to pour it on the air. Ready? Listen to them. Listen.
That's a big pour.
Yeah.
That's a huge pour.
Well, it's small.
We like that kind of pour. Plenty of sips to take. Let's welcome in anyone who's joining us today. Welcome to Sipping on Cinema, where we're perfecting the movie and drink mixology, if you will. We're your hosts, JRB and Bethanne Ciaccio-Tarpley, because we're doing a little rebranding, aren't we?
We are.
I got to ask, but as we're getting into it, obviously we're talking Truman Show today, and we're not drinking beer, but that's pretty much all they drank in this movie.
That's a really
Are you a beer
good
drinker?
point. I do, but I'm kind of a snob because we have a lot of craft breweries in Virginia, and very random story, at a Virginia Tech tailgate, I ran into one of the head brewers for New Belgium, and he gave me some of the stuff he was working on, secret. It was really good. And then I spent 30 minutes with this man talking about how the water in Virginia is so good for beer. And then it was like talking to my dad because my dad's a water filtrationist. So it was kind of, it was weird. I had subject matter to talk to this man about.
Yes. Today's topic, water filtration.
That's exactly right.
Water will come up a lot, actually.
Good for beer.
Not much of the drink, but water as a hazard, I guess. We'll be discussing that for sure. But I mean, I feel like Truman was kind of at a disadvantage. He only had one brand of beer his entire life. It was that Penn Pales or Penn whatever it was. I mean, does he even know the mountains are blue? Does he know about the Bud Light controversy?
You know, I would really love his commentary on transgender rights. That's the only thing I thought was missing from this film.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to just introduce what we're talking about. So imagine your entire life as the star of a show you didn't even know existed. A really carefully constructed ecosystem, if you will, to keep you from ever discovering the truth. So that the Truman Show, to me, we'll dive into a world that's both, eerily perfect and profoundly unsettling, kind of exploring what it means to break free and find authenticity, if you will. But I mean, it's just such a fun watch. I mean, like, for how twisted this story is, what is it about this movie that makes it so enjoyable? Because this is another one of my favorites. I chose this one. But I mean, Bethanne, you got to admit, this one's just, you're grinning every time you put it on, right?
So let me tell you, this movie, like, I loved this movie. It was awesome. I have to say, when you pause it in the middle, it fucks with your mind, because I paused it and I went upstairs to grab something from the pantry, and it felt like I was in the film. Like, it felt like someone was narrating and someone was watching me.
Like someone's watching you through that pantry, grabbing the chips. Yeah.
Yes. And man. That was kind of like an experience I wasn't betting on, but that's just because I'm OCD and mentally ill. So past that, this was.
You telling me you're not always paranoid? No, I guess I could relate to that. I definitely saw parts of this movie and went like, oh man, that could be happening in my life and I wouldn't even know it.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's what makes the movie such a fun watch and also successful, because how many of us actually think about this? Because this is actually one of those subjects. I mean, think about birds in the government. Like, now we all think about it. And
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know,
right.
like,
Yeah.
as a kid, I thought the toys were gonna come along from Toy Story, and this is another one. Who knows who's watching
Yeah.
me?
I mean,
Which there's
there was a lot of deep stuff in this. I have a section of these notes titled "Deep Shit." Maybe we should just jump right to that. But yeah, I mean, that when you think about the type of questions this movie poses versus the how immersive and enjoyable it is, you know, if someone told you that it would be posing these kind of questions, I don't necessarily you would think that from a Jim Carrey movie, and we'll get into that more in a minute. But I mean,
yeah.
like the biggest question that comes up is do creators have a moral responsibility to their creations? And I can relate to that because, you know, as the maker of this drink, am I responsible for finishing it? I
Mhm.
think the answer is always yes, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good point because you're right. From a drink perspective, you have to be responsible with it in your hands. And I think from a writer perspective, when you write a character, you're kind of responsible for the morals that go into it.
Mm,
Like,
I
is that
love
too
that. She
deep?
didn't skip a beat. She's like, we're staying in this existential area. No,
Let's
that's
listen. Listen, I'm
I thought I
call
was gonna
me
get you with that, but
existential Bethanne, okay?
I'll hit you another one then. How about I mean, I think this movie's been exploring a theme that we've been talking about from the very beginning of this show. I mean, is ignorance bliss? Because if Jim Carrey had his ignorance in this movie, he wouldn't have been so dissatisfied because, you know, we learned throughout the movie that, you know, in his teenage years, he was kind of the seed was planted in his mind by the his love interest, whose name is escaping me. Probably because it was Sylvia and it was also Lauren and it was also the
Yeah.
actress's name. And it's really hard to keep up when
I
you
think it
have a
was
third name
Sylvia.
to remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Christoph ends up addressing her as Sylvia later,
Mhm.
but she's basically the catalyst to say like, hey, none of this is real. And so by the time we run into him in his adulthood, whether it's 20s, 30s, wherever, probably late 20s, I would imagine, he is already, you know, he's kind of questioning it, but it might also just been that crazy girl in high school, you know. But he never had the ignorance, so there was always the questioning and there was always the lack of satisfaction, you know. But if he was never fed that little bit of truth, you know, do you think he would have just lived a normal happy life and been none the wiser? Or do you think he still would have had that inkling of like there's something more there that I'm
I
missing?
think, well, one, it would be a very short movie if he was ignorant. Okay,
Mm,
he would just you'd see him go to his
right,
job, come back, roll credits. You know, a
right,
couple Jim Carrey quips and all that kind of stuff. But it also
yeah,
makes me think of, once again, I don't know why we do this. We pick movies that seem to have links together, like one after
mm,
the other, because go back to Birdman or The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance. And that
mm,
explores it too, where if he was ignorant on those things, would he become a man that went crazy because of his creativity, like the mad
yeah,
genius types? And I think there's a little bit of that here too, where Jim Carrey is this selected, right? He's owned by a corporation since birth. And he has these moments where it drives him mad because he's been gaslit over and over again. Oh, you're just crazy. Like,
so much
no,
gaslighting.
that's not happening. Right. And it just drives him nuts. And it's almost like I am of the opinion that while ignorance can be bliss, okay, welcome to Deep Thoughts with Beth Ann. It also can be one of those things you'll look back at your life and be like, I wish I would have answered it.
Yeah,
Because I think this might be a smidge woo woo. I think every time in life, there's always going to be a moment where you have to make a choice. Do I want to stay in this or do I want to learn?
hmm,
And it's just a matter of, well, which choice are you going to make? And I think at the end of the day, all of us as humans are naturally inclined to be like, well, what's behind door number two?
yeah, no,
Always.
exactly. And Christoph was always closing that door for him.
Right.
That you're right. That was the whole central focus of the movie was the nature of Truman's curiosity and how Christoph was constantly having to combat that. And you know, it also brings up the question, like you said, he was there from birth. He never had a chance to really see what life was really like or what it had to offer. So it also asks the question, like, how much of our lives are shaped by forces outside of our control? Because in this case, with Truman, you would want to say pretty much all of it, but then you look at his curiosity and his creativity and the level of care he has for people. That stuff wasn't shaped by Christoph. It was almost shaped in spite of him or despite his circumstances. So, I mean, we could talk for a long time about how deep
Yeah.
this movie gets, but I mean, I really love the questions that it poses, and those are just a few of them. I mean, if you want to do deep talk with Bethanne, we got plenty of time. I mean,
Listen, I already got a
is
theme
privacy
song.
a right? Do you have a right to privacy, or is it a privilege?
That's a good
Why did
question.
everyone? No one had an issue with it,
Deep
except Sylvia, I
thoughts
guess. I
with
mean, Sylvia was
Bethanne
very
and
vocal against it.
JRB. Bum bum. Where we get into philosophy. Bum bum.
Oh,
Anyway,
nice.
well,
That's
gotta always
good.
have one on the off the cuff. But no, I
I like
think
it.
that's why this movie is studied by philosophy students a lot of times.
Oh yeah.
Because it does pose around the questions that,
Mm.
because like I said, is privacy a right or a privilege? Depending on how this TikTok ban goes, we're going to find out. Um, like, looks like it's going to be answered for us, but that's the only political statement you're going to get from me tonight.
Ooh,
Um,
I don't know. That was a lot. That was a lot. Get a little backlash on the Sipping on Cinema socials for that one.
well,
Or we might not have it on TikTok, at least. It might be gone.
that's
But
right.
yeah, I mean, we can get into something a little bit lighter here. I mean, let's talk about the drinks in this, that I guess the drink that we made for this movie. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's quickly highlight the drink of this movie, because I think some of the elements of it are going to be really fun to get into. But there's a cocktail that we like to kind of concoct to match the vibe of this movie, or really, describe the elements of it, or what gives it its personality. It's something we've been having fun with, and it's kind of become a little bit of a personality of the show. But for the Truman Show, everything in his life is some sort of illusion. Everything's a facade, or some sort of fib. So for the cocktail, we came up with something called the Illusionist for this one.
Ooh,
The ingredients are vodka and blue curacao. Which, we'll get into the element of blue here in a minute and how pivotal that was. And
smart,
then
smart.
coconut water for Fiji. Love that, right? And a
Yeah,
citrus twist, because the twist in this movie and the twist in Truman's life is one of the biggest you'll ever experience, no matter who you are.
I'm vibing with this.
So, yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Do you like these ingredients? Is this something you would actually drink?
Oh, I'll try anything once. But with um but with that citrus twist, I feel like it should be lemon because when
Mm.
life gives you
Oh, okay.
lemons, that's this movie. When life gives you lemons,
Oh, wow. I
situation,
love that. Oh, yeah.
you
Okay. So
know?
the
And
citrus has to
I
be
think it
lemon.
tastes good. It would taste
I
good
like
with it.
that.
I like
Change it.
that.
We are my bride producer is changing it right now. Now we have lemon twist. Even better, when life gives you lemons.
This is gonna be a fun graphic.
You just drive around a roundabout until yeah.
Until you prove your point.
How unhinged was he? And the level of anxiety in that scene between Laura Kinney and Jim Carrey, where they're just in the car just freaking out
Right.
in such different ways, but still, like they're sitting right next to each other, but they're on completely different planets with what they're worried about in that moment, which I think is so fun. um
Can I also say the idea of going around and around, right, to prove a point,
mhm.
isn't that marriage? Let's just start there. I am going to tell you, if I was Jim Carrey, which I often am the protagonist in this relationship that I've been in for
Oh, of
14
course,
years with my
yeah.
husband.
Bethanne
Um,
has to be in the right.
we're two Tauruses, so
Yeah,
most of the time
don't
we're
mind me.
vibing. Most of the time
Alexis is
we're
smiling at me.
vibing, but when both of us are on opposite sides, it's a litigation. It's a courtroom. We have brought documents.
Your
We brought
Honor,
subpoenas.
I
We're bringing
present only the
witnesses.
facts.
We're bringing witnesses. We will approach that fucking bench multiple times. And anyway, so like the roundabout thing, there is no doubt in my mind that I would do exactly what he did. I would drive
Mm,
around and I'd wait and I'd outsmart them all to prove a
that was
point.
great. That was really great. Same road, no cars. That was a great scene. Man, but yeah, I mean, wouldn't you be driven crazy by the level of perfect that was in this movie? Because I mean, you look at the town that it was filmed in, and it was what's the name of it? Seaside, Florida. It's very cute, very,
Seaside Harbor?
very demure, if you
Very
will.
demure.
But yeah, I mean, if you go there, it actually looks like that. But the Truman House specifically, I think I found a really funny fact about this. I just want to share this real quick. It's
Yeah.
31 Natchez Street in Seaside. But for some reason in the movie, they changed his house number to 36. So like during my rewatch for this recording, I was looking like, what's the significance of the number 36? Because they changed the house from 31 to 36 so it could be in the movie. And since then, the people who actually live in that house just left 36 up, even though their address is still 31.
I love
So
that.
like when they get mail, it gets delivered as 31, but their house will say 36. And like, it's just a known
you
thing.
Can't remove it. It's
No,
history.
well, don't you love that?
It's like the Breaking Bad house.
I love it and hate it, because if I was the mailman, I would get every time I saw that 31 on that envelope, I would get so heated that I'm not delivering it to a house with 31 on it. You know, like that's what does that say about me?
Dude, I could just see the mailman right now. He picks up the man and goes, like just this big ass grunt. The person they have a high turnover rate on that mail route. Like, I can't stand it anymore.
For real though, I mean, how perfect is the setting in this movie? I mean, I know it was 30 years ago and things have changed a little bit, but I mean, what more could you ask for from a little, Bayside town in Florida where everyone just kind of seems to be first of all, I don't think it's temperate enough in Florida to be wearing a sweater vest over a collared shirt every day with a jacket.
Agreed.
There's no way that they were comfortable walking to work in that.
Oh, no. Nor filming.
Yeah, definitely not. Oh, definitely not filming. Are you kidding me? But yeah, I mean, that is a cute town, but I would be under so much pressure by how perfect it is, So like going back to whether or not Truman would have figured things out on his own, I feel like I would have buckled just from that. I mean, the expectation that comes with it, it feels like you've got to be so much more than yourself if you're, keeping up with a place like that.
Yeah.
Am I out of bounds for that?
No, you're not. I mean, that's the thing, this perfectionism. I mean, it's kind of like
the pressure of perfection.
Right. Like this, it almost has that 1950s, right? Stepford Wives scenario. That's
kind
of like Mad Men. Like
perfect.
It's too perfect. And I don't know, for me, I feel like for normal people today, but maybe it's just all he's known. He hasn't traveled, so he doesn't know. But I feel like most people, if they see something too perfect these days, because we're so cynical, we're like, wait a minute.
You're right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's just an immediate red flag.
What, we accept the reality with which we are presented?
Yeah.
So I mean, like, what, he's none the wiser. Why would he expect anything different? But yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I mean, it is funny though, because like this movie wasn't originally supposed to be like this. It wasn't supposed to look like that at all. When Andrew Nicoli first wrote the script, it was supposed to be like a New York City and like a more of a darker dystopian narrative. Like,
yeah,
it wasn't even called the Truman Show. It was called the Malcolm Show. So I'm not sure where the name change came from, but when the director got a hold of the script, he's like, no, this has to be Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey has to play Truman. And he was so set on it and had this such a specific vision, which included, Seaside, Florida. And I mean, I got to say, I don't know if the movie would be nearly as enjoyable if it didn't have that added dimension of like false perfection and, the witty, sarcastic deflection that he uses as his defense mechanism. It's like adding that the fake kind of nice elements, where it looks happy, it sounds funny, but it's not. I think that adds a lot to this, because as the viewer, it's so frustrating to see all this, discontent and dismay in a place that looks like it should be doing so well.
Right. And also, I mean, from a logistics standpoint, it's much easier to close a random town than it is to close down even a couple blocks of New York City.
What do you mean? Michael Bay blows up Chicago every couple of years, right? I mean,
he comes to my neighborhood too. Back in New York when I was there, he'd go blow shit up in Newburgh, New York, all the time.
Yeah,
for
right,
fun.
Exactly, right. No, you're right. I mean, it is much more practical from a budget standpoint.
Yeah, from a budget standpoint.
Speaking of, you could kind of notice there were some instances where like the budget may have gotten in the way of their ability to show some bigger moments. But I
Yeah,
mean, you only really notice that when like there's a giant wave crashing on Truman, or like
right.
when I think
Space view or things like that.
exactly right. It's small things, you know, supplemental and not really that important. I wouldn't look at something like the Truman Show and be like, ah, the special effects were so mid. Like that's not, if
Right.
that's what you're saying about this movie, you missed the point, bro. Like
This ain't a Michael Bay film, okay? We're
exactly,
not
exactly right.
CGIing
It's
the
not
hell
Michael
out of
Bay
it.
renting out Chicago. Exactly.
That's
We're not going
exactly
to see
right.
Bumblebee crashing through the Chrysler Building in New York. It's going to be Truman sipping on a beer on the dock, talking about his long lost dad. You know, it's
That's
much
exactly
more
right.
down to earth.
But it does
Um,
make me think, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. It
don't
does make me
no.
think if they set it in the dystopian world and they
Mhm.
didn't cast Jim Carrey, who would they cast?
Mm.
That
Oh,
dark brooding, it's, it's made to be a drama, thriller, suspense, mystery.
that see, that seems much more like a Johnny Depp type film to me at that point. You know, like an Edward
That's a good
Scissorhands
one.
almost.
That's a
What
good
do you
one.
think?
No, I think, you know what? At first I was thinking Bruce Willis, but you're right.
Oh,
There
yeah.
is a Tim Burton-esque overlay over the world
Mm.
they build.
Mhm.
So that does make sense.
Yeah. If we were doing like today's equivalent with a dystopian, I would do something like Bill Skarsgård, you know, like
Yes.
for the look partially, but also because, you know, he really has that emotional range and can do like the tortured soul super well. But yeah, I mean, again, I don't think it would measure up to be half the movie without the, you know, the added layers of see, even the appearance of the movie itself is like a facade because you
Mhm.
see Jim Carrey and you're like, I love Jim Carrey. I've never laughed harder than when I watch a Jim Carrey movie. And then you put this on and you're just watching it like, what? But that's so
Yeah.
messed up, you know?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. This was one of his first drama roles.
Oh yeah,
Like,
well, it's one of
uh,
his only ones that people remember.
yeah, because
But
then
you're
there
right.
was the
It's certainly
Eternal
one of
Mine
his
and
earliest.
Sunshine.
Yeah, because I mean, even movies like
Yeah,
Liar Liar, you know, that it's a comedy. You know, it's got serious elements, but you're meant to laugh.
yeah. And
But
also
this definitely throws a
probably
curveball.
Man Over the Moon, the Andy Kaufman one,
Mm,
has a little bit of drama to it.
that's pretty niche. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just to take a minute to talk about Jim Carrey's acting range, because
Mhm,
I think Jim Carrey is one of the most interesting people alive. Not that I agree with everything, he touts out these days, but I still think he's one of the most interesting people alive because he has so much range to do so much more. And he's one of those people, honestly, and I know comedians are really terrified of this,
mhm,
particularly, or anyone in the like science fiction world, of getting typecasted just to
mm.
that one area. And it's pretty, I would imagine, I've never been through it, but pretty debilitating to be like, I have so much more to offer in this world. Like I could win an Oscar, I can win, I could make a impact, but instead you're just relegated in Hollywood to comedy. So like for him to just like even just a little bit be able to breach that and go into the drama world and see what he offers, like he I think is one of those phenomenal actors
Yeah,
around.
no, I agree. I mean,
Around.
you don't see a lot of actors that are good in comedy these days take on something that would be so complex. I mean, and not to say that there's not a lot of ability, but I I would also say there's not a lot of good comedy lately. But with someone like Jim Carrey, I mean, this was really him kind of pulling the curtain back on what he had to offer outside of, you know, just something funny.
Yeah,
And I think that says a lot about what Peter Weir, is it Weir? Is that how you say his name?
I think it's
Veer?
weird.
Weir?
Yeah,
Weir?
weird.
It says a lot about how the director was able to see that in Jim Carrey from an earlier stage. Because if this came out in 98, then really what he would have been most known for is SNL. And
Hmm.
then, like, what? Ace Ventura, Liar
Ace
Liar,
Ventura,
Me, Myself, and Irene,
the Cable Guy.
and or Cable Guy. Yep. Um,
Hmm.
maybe The Mask. Was that post 2000?
Yeah, Mask was 96, and then also the
96.
Batman movie
And
when
the
he was
Riddler.
Riddler.
If I looked at all those movies, I would not look at Jim Carrey and say he's the one that I want to lead my movie about his dystopian society and how he's a prisoner in his own life. You know, like
Yeah,
the vision that you have to be able to thrust an actor into something like this,
Mhm.
and for so much, I think a lot has to be said about the director too, because
Yeah.
just what a vision.
Right. And also, I think Jim Carrey, as a person, that movie really does also describe him both personally.
Mm.
Because I mean,
Mhm.
have you seen the Andy Kaufman documentary?
No,
Have you by
I've
chance?
never watched it all the way. I mean, I know
Dude.
all about it. I've watched
Yeah.
like the whole breakdown of like his process of making it and all that, but I've never watched the actual documentary.
It is so freaky. It actually freaks me out, like,
Yeah.
how committed this man was to this role that I actually think he may have been possessed by Andy Kaufman. Like, that is how
Right, and you're
convinced.
not alone in thinking that. A lot of
No,
people
I'm like,
say, like, it's
he may
literally
have
like Andy
been.
was in the room.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
may have actually been. But this is also the same guy who, like, in his personal life, like, he got into, like, 50 something, and he's like, "You know what?
Mhm.
Imma paint." And he just becomes this awesome painter out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. I mean, Amanda Bynes is trying to do the same thing, but I'm sorry, you ain't got what Jim Carrey
Well,
got on
yeah,
this
no, I
one.
mean, there's a fine line between creativity and craziness, but I mean, he walks it really well. I mean,
Yeah.
the amount of creative energy he channels is,
Mhm.
you're right, it's truly unparalleled because he can touch anything and turn it to gold. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's really cool to see, to look back 30 years and to see how talented he was then, and to see everything he's done since then too.
And, yeah, what
Um,
he's kinda shaped, the life he's led, and, like I said, the painting thing is just wild to me. I mean, that just shows you, like, the untapped potential. Like,
mm,
I guarantee you we coulda gotten more drama films out of him, but it's probably not gonna happen at this point unless he does some kind of, like,
yeah,
I would love him in a Coen's film,
they were.
even
Ooh, yeah,
even though the
that
Coen
would.
brothers aren't making films together anymore, but I
Oh,
would
why is that?
love him in a Coen's film. It was recent, I think it was after Buster Scruggs that they said,
Oh.
"Hey, we're gonna go our separate ways."
We
Haven't been
watched that. I
30
think we watched
years.
that on our honeymoon, actually. We flew to
Oh, yeah?
Mexico, and, that was one of the only movies we could find in English on, or no, we might have pulled that up on Netflix, I think, because we could not find any late night television that was in English. But,
Yeah,
yeah, that was it started out really funny, and then it just took such a serious turn and got really
right.
depressing.
I've heard that. I haven't seen it, but, like, I've heard that from others.
It was very, that's another movie that appears funny at first, and then just you're like, "What is going on?" But, yeah, so, maybe he should. Maybe they could take him and do something really
Yeah,
serious
Coen
and
Brothers.
dramatic.
You know what? Get Clint Eastwood back in the saddle.
Mm.
I know he's 95 years old. I don't give a shit. That man's built on cigarettes and Slim Jims. Put him back in the saddle. He'll be fine. And get Jim Carrey in a role. Dude, I'd eat
Jim
it up.
Carrey,
I
I
don't go
mean,
see Clint Eastwood films all that often, but I'm telling you, if I got someone in the American Sniper range, man,
oh,
with a
wow.
Jim Carrey, oh,
Oh, man. I
eat it up.
Could you imagine Jim Carrey out in the desert, just a just scraggly beard, looking down the scope of, like, a sniper
Yes.
rifle, just
Yes. What if
God.
he's a Vietnam vet that doesn't know that Vietnam's ended? I'm writing the film. I'm writing the film right now, and we're pitching it. We're pitching it to Clint Eastwood. He's a
Oh.
Vietnam vet who has delusions,
The
okay?
US pulls out of Vietnam and they go back to
He
their
doesn't know
advisory
it.
role. He's still in the jungle. Yeah,
He's
he's
still
still
in the
there.
jungle, and he's talking to people. He's talking to a fucking anaconda, thinking that's his friend Bill, okay?
Oh,
He
man,
thinks he sees the enemy.
this
It's a
is too
freaking
good.
banana tree.
Yeah.
I'm just
No,
saying it
this
writes
is,
itself.
I mean,
Free idea.
if there's anyone that was gonna do it, I'd want it to be him.
Yeah.
Man, yeah. Man, there were a few moments in this movie that made me go, like, Jim Carrey is like, holy crap, like, he really is the guy. But he was not the only dude in this movie that was, like, had a really commanding presence. 'Cause when you looked at Ed Harris, I mean, he as Kristoff was like, I mean, he literally thought he was God.
Yeah,
I
and he
thought that
was
was
really
so
good.
interesting. I
So
I
go
Go
ahead.
ahead, go ahead. No, no,
Oh, no,
no, no.
I'm sorry, I
No,
interrupted
no.
you.
No, 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 no,
No, no,
no, no.
no. I insist.
Oh, I gotta top off this drink. Can I get a
All
can I get
right.
another?
If you gotta top off, okay.
Yeah, I'm not asking my producer wife, I'm asking my imaginary bartender because I don't want listeners to think I'm pouring it myself. All right.
So, what's interesting about the casting in this film, I think everyone did well. But the two that just stick out to me the most is Ed Harris and Jim Carrey. I feel like they had the most memorable roles.
Hmm.
And I almost want a fan cast. That's not really a fan cast, but I have a theory based off Ed Harris's role that he played in this. It's so similar to what he did in Westworld.
Oh.
You know?
Oh. Tell me more.
It's
I like
kind
this.
of the similar thing of like he, not to give spoilers out, but like, he helped not create the world, but one of the very first, I don't think he created the world, but was one of the very first people to go into this imaginary place of people
Mm,
who look like robots.
that's
And
great. I like that.
it's a theory I'm workshopping. We'll see if it goes
I
anywhere.
wouldn't be
But
surprised if they wrote Westworld with this movie in mind. I mean, at least from a conceptual standpoint, like to think
yeah,
about, I would it wouldn't it if Ed Harris came across their mind while writing this, I wouldn't be surprised because Truman Show was definitely in that writer's room in
yeah.
talks. There's no doubt.
Well, there probably is because Westworld was Michael Crichton, the same guy who did Jurassic Park. They had a
Uh,
movie, I think, in the 80s. No, but I think you're talking in the same thing. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if these two, like, art beget art kind of situation here. You know,
oh, wait, you mean like that they're us? What do you mean?
like Westworld came out,
Uh huh.
was a book, then a movie,
Yeah.
and then, but Michael Keaton wasn't Michael Keaton. Ed Harris wasn't. I'm getting my movies mixed up. Ed
Yeah.
Harris wasn't in that one, I think. Then Truman Show came out, and then
Mm,
this HBO series came
mm,
out with Ed Harris in it. And I
gotcha.
feel like it's
Okay, I
like
gotcha.
they're kind of in the same realm. But anyway, that's my running theory.
I like that. No, that's good. Yeah. I mean, I read a little bit about like the character of Kristoff in this movie, and like it wasn't even supposed to be Ed Harris at first. I think they had Dennis Hopper was casted as the
Hmm,
character, and then he ended up leaving like really early on, and they had to replace him. I even read that like Hopper was saying like they didn't even want him there. Like there was some sort of decision like they were going to let him show up and do the job.
that's
But then like
unfortunate.
if they had a like the director and the producer had an agreement like they were just going to let him go if they didn't like him. I don't know if there's any truth to that, but that's how Hopper describes it. I can't imagine he would show up to a job and then leave it 2 days later unless there was some sort of major disagreement. But
Yeah,
any regardless, we got Ed Harris out of it, and I mean I was looking up what Ed Harris had done since, and like this is like one of his biggest movies.
really.
Like there are other things he's done that I think are really recognizable, but the based on like the list of like he was Jackson Pollock, he was nominated for an Academy Award for that. So like that's I would
Okay,
think that's his best work. But I
right.
mean, this one he won a Golden Globe for this one for Best Supporting Actor. And he was a nomination for Best Supporting Actor for the Academy. So I mean,
Huh.
he was in Apollo 13, which
I
what year was
remember.
that? Was 90? That was right around this. That was 95. That was
Yeah,
95. He was nominated for Best Supporting Actor in that too, and I think a Golden Globe as well. And I think he got a couple SAG awards too. But
yeah.
uh, like when we look at him in this movie, I mean, I think there's a reason that this is one of the last things he was nominated for because when you look at his stuff after that, it was Pollock and then The Hours, and then like everything else has been
The Hours was good.
The
That was
Hours was
good.
good.
I love
I
The
I
Hours.
I remember finding that on what was it like FX or something one day, and it was like 20 minutes in. I put it on. I sat through the whole thing.
Yeah, that was a good twist.
Yeah, it was. I was in it, but yeah. I mean, I when you talk about Jim Carrey and Ed Harris as the two kind of main pieces, protagonist, antagonist, they never even meet face to face, at least not on screen. The
Yeah,
only time they probably did was when Truman was born. Um, maybe, if he was even there.
right,
Uh, but like the level of tension you feel between that final conversation between them, there's
right.
so much understanding of where they're both coming from by then that I really think their performance does a lot for that final moment that really feels satisfying.
And I thought it was such a nice touch, um, that he has this almost fatherly,
Hmm.
appeal over him because there's those scenes where he's like touching the screen, rubbing his little nose, like there. He does that a couple
Yeah,
times
right.
and just having that fatherly instinct towards him. So I think that's a really nice, when we're thinking of that, like his relationship with it, that was a nice indicator in there. And they really didn't talk about it. And I like when movies do that and they make you like, they let you figure it out. I don't like things always being said. You know, I
Yeah,
don't need a line
right,
that says you're like a child to me. I don't need that line. That's already
right.
been
That was
discussed.
very well inferred. I mean, by the time you got to that, they were able to tell you that without saying it. And
Right.
you and I both really appreciate that about a good piece of cinema is that, it trusts you enough to understand what's going on,
Yeah.
where they leave the words for the big stuff and let you pick up the other stuff along the way. Um, I mean, and there was a lot to pick up in this movie. I mean, everywhere you looked, there was some sort of hidden detail, but some of it was shoved right in your face too. I
That's
mean,
true.
you want to talk about product placement in a movie? That's your job, isn't it? That you are
Yeah.
in marketing.
I don't do product placement.
Come on.
If I did it, well, I kind of do product placement because what I do for my job with marketing is I work in the real estate world. Not a realtor, I'm a marketer.
Mm.
But my goal is to put dogs in every photo shoot I possibly can. Like that is a code I
We
live
love it.
by.
Oh, we
So yes,
approve of
I do
that.
product placement. I
Oh,
put
that's
dogs in
great.
everything.
That's really great. I like that a lot. Oh, wow. Did you hear that? The dogs upstairs just started barking as soon as you said that.
They know.
Oh my God.
They know.
I couldn't have gotten that to happen if I tried. All right.
That was pretty
They're
awesome.
still going. I don't know if you can hear it with
Let them go.
anyway. Yeah, I mean, product placement, dude. I really loved that element. That was the only really element of comedy that I think was written into the plot. I think
Yeah.
every other aspect of comedy was handled by the actors in one way or another.
Right.
But this part was where the story was really funny to me. I mean, product placement, I mean, the idea itself was critiquing, the pervasive nature of everything that, I mean, consumer culture,
Mm-hmm.
it's how we buy stuff. It's how we know what's good is based on, what they tell us,
Michael
in the
Bay wouldn't
marketing.
have his billions, not to bring him full circle. He wouldn't got his billions without putting Pepsi in Transformers 3 or whatever the
Thank
fuck
you.
he
Yes.
wanted to put
I
in.
wanted to ask you about that. Is like this movie, obviously the product placement was a joke and none of these products were real.
Yeah.
I had to look up a couple of them, but the lawnmower specifically, I wasn't sure about
Yeah,
that one.
that was good.
That was a good one. But I gotta ask, is there product placement in a movie? I'll just tell you mine because you mentioned it already. Michael Bay in the first Transformers movie, he made a Mountain Dew soda machine come to life as a transformer and an actual Xbox. Like, and it like I
I love that.
just go watch Transformers with the idea of product placement in mind, and it'll become one of your least favorite movies. But I got to ask you because I was thinking about this last time I was watching with Alexis. If your life was secretly a TV show like Truman,
Mm-hmm.
what company would get rich from all the product placement it would get at your place?
That is a really good question.
Because I mean, there were some companies making bank based on the amount of viewers that Truman was getting. I mean, the whole world was watching this guy.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're going to favor the brand of beer he's drinking or the lawnmower he's using.
No, that's a really good one. I think, and somewhere my husband, when he listens to this episode, is going to die laughing. There is this game I play called House Flipper, which is just insane that I work in a real estate world and come home and play this game and flip houses.
She can't get enough.
Guess how many hours I put in this fucker? Guess.
I don't even just
500.
I don't know. Tell me.
500 hours. I have decored, ripped down walls.
No. 500, Bethanne.
500 hours. And so I feel like they would get the most
How many
bang
days
for
is
their
that?
buck. They're an indie company. I wouldn't feel, you know what? They deserve it. They deserve it.
Oh my gosh. No, that's insane. 500. It's
No,
20 days.
well, I didn't
You've
do
spent
like a marathon. I didn't do like a speed
almost
run.
21 days. Producer says
Yeah,
that's 21
right.
days. You've spent
that's right.
three calendar weeks inside. Is it a mobile game?
No, it's on Xbox.
Oh my, this is a console game about flipping houses.
Yes. And I play it with my pink controller I got for Christmas. Dude,
Oh
that would be it.
man. Oh,
It would probably be them.
it's
Oh,
free real estate. That
it's free.
is crazy. House flipper. Okay. How did we get to house flipper? What did I ask?
You asked
Oh,
what
right.
would
So
be
that would be the game that the whole nation plays then, because on the
correct.
Bethanne show, that's the game. That's the only
Mhm.
game that's featured on the Bethanne show.
What's she doing?
It's
They
just
would
house
log
flipper.
in, dude. They would log in. It's like, we just had dinner as a family
You're
of
gonna be like,
4,
"Do you do anything other than
flip
just
it on.
assessing the real estate market?" Like, what?
Once in a while, I'll throw them a quip, okay? I'll throw some
That one
random
was for free.
line where I'm putting up wallpaper and I say, "That's not going anywhere." And they can all laugh, have a good time, but no, my life would be very boring,
Oh man.
and I like it
Where
that way.
That reminds me of the scene where Truman's in the bathroom and he uses the bar of soap to make himself like a Martian, and he's like
Oh, yeah, that was good.
like that where
Pretty much.
he had cameras I mean, the bathroom mirror, come on, you couldn't give that
What'd they
guy
say,
1 second
5,000
of
cameras or something like that?
5,000 cameras
Oh,
in the
wow.
town of it was Seahaven, right? Seahaven?
Yeah,
It's
Seahaven,
seaside
Seahaven,
it's seaside Florida in real life, right? But it's Seahaven in the movie.
Seahaven. Yeah,
They
that's
they
right.
changed everything just enough. They made the house number 36 instead of 31. They named the town Seahaven instead of Seaside.
Seaside.
Seesaw. You ever seesaw?
Seesaw.
I seesaw with Mose all the time. Little drop
Oh.
for our office friends. But um, where's the weirdest place you've ever found a camera?
I have seen one at an Airbnb that I was staying at, and it was right in front of the TV.
No. No.
Yes.
Was it on?
Yes. Probably.
Like it was plugged in? Or I
Yeah,
mean,
I was plugged in because I looked and
oh
I'm
my
like,
gosh.
what the hell is that doing there? And
What'd you
like
do?
I just let it go because I'm like, well, enjoy the Bethanne show. I mean, like literally all I'm gonna do is sleep on the fucking couch.
Call
I
me
don't
if
know
you've
what
got
to
any advice on how to flip this house, and I'm working on it.
I'm just
Oh,
gonna go up to the camera and be like, I was looking at your air filter. And did you ever think about doing wooden ones versus these white ones? Really look nicer. Not air filters, air vents. But
air vents.
air
Oh,
vents. Anyway,
we're gonna hold her
but
accountable.
that is where I've seen one. That's probably the weirdest one that I know of. What
Man.
about you? I gotta know. And also I want to know your product placement because I also am very curious about that.
Ooh, for for product placement, if we're talking games, I mean, when it comes to there's a mobile game called Marvel Snap that I'm absolutely I mean, it's consumed most of my free time, but
How many hours?
I don't know. If there's a way to find out, I'll find it, but I would say at least an hour a day. Uh yeah, it's been out for like 2 or 3 years now,
365.
and yeah, something
That's
like that. But
600. I don't want to hear
hey,
no shit when I talk about playing House Flipper for
listen,
500
I didn't
hours.
come here for perspective on the choices I make with my free time. Okay, if it came to product placement, I think it'd be a lot of the mahogany teak wood candle from Bath and Body Works, and
Yes.
uh, I'm sure Funko would get a ton of money too because I have a lot of Iron Man pops around my place. I mean, you can
I
see one
love
up
that.
on the shelf right now, but
Is
there's
that the
about
Iron
3 or
Man
4
one?
more I'm looking at that you can't see. But
Is that the Iron
yeah.
Man one?
Oh yeah. Oh, they're all
Yeah.
some sort of Iron Man. Yeah, there's a gingerbread Iron Man over there from Christmas I still haven't taken down.
I love that you shouted out the mahogany teakwood because that's my favorite scent
Isn't it
ever.
great?
Oh my god, it's
It
it's
doesn't
because
get
it's like
old.
walking into an Abercrombie and Fitch without
Yes.
the toxic diet culture.
You don't have to talk to anyone.
I know. They're not that
That's the
they
only
would
reason
talk
I
to
went
you
there. Yeah. No, it's just for the smells. No,
That's
this
exactly
is
right. You
yeah,
walk
no,
in, you go, Hollister tried it. Their scent
they did.
couldn't come to snuff with
No.
Abercrombie and Fitch.
No, Hollister could never, right? Right?
Never.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, you're looking at me like you used to wear Aeropostale. Oh, you didn't? Okay. All right. Alexis was giving me that look like she wears some Abercrombie? Abercrombie. That's what it was. I had the
Oh,
wrong
yeah.
A. Yeah, Aeropostale kind of became the one you didn't want at one point, I think.
I
Are they
remember
even
that.
around anymore? They are around? The one by us
Yeah.
isn't. It's gone.
Because I did Hollister. American Eagle was mine.
Me
American
too.
Eagle was
That's crazy. Me too.
that was the
Yes.
one.
Oh, I loved American Eagle. That was
that was the one
easily
for
the
me.
far and away the best one, especially for jeans. But
Yes, especially for jeans.
join us next week for Sipping on Denim, where we discuss the best place to find affordable jeans.
But only if you
I,
subscribe to our Patreon, which we do not
yeah,
have.
we don't even have that. In case you can't tell, we're getting towards the end of this here. I I want to ask one more question because I think this is really what this movie is about, is to get you to kind of take a step outside of yourself and realize, you know, what's in my control and what isn't. If you lived in a world like Seahaven, how
Mhm.
long would it take you to question your reality?
That's a really good question because you also have to take into account, was I born there or did I arrive there? You know what
Which,
I
I
mean?
mean, most people aren't even thinking, you know? I mean, Truman probably was told he was born there and that was the end of it.
Yeah. I think for me personally, going off of what I know about myself, I'm very much a what's behind door number 2 person. Like, I just got to
Mhm.
know. So I would have definitely been like Truman. Like, I got to know the answer one way or
Yeah,
the other. I got to
I
see
like
why
that.
I'm being pushed back on.
Mhm. Yeah, door number 2 was a very tangible, element in this movie. I mean, it ends with him walking through that door that kind
Right.
of, signifies the unknown. It's pitch black, you can't tell what's on the other side, but
And
he
it
knows
bothers
that
me
it.
that I can't see it. Sorry.
Exactly.
It
No, it
bothers
does, and it bothers him, and that's why he goes, is because he's tired of not knowing what's out there. He's tired of the of lacking the knowledge of what he's missing in life. You know, he wants to know, and it's finally eaten at him enough to where he needs it more than he's willing to die for it. You know,
Mhm.
and I have to imagine that would be most of us, is that we would get to a point where we, you know, we want more, you know, and we want to know what what what's outside of what I'm seeing right now, you know? And to be denied that, like Truman was, I think really amplifies his need for it. But um I mean, it really highlights what we all feel, is that we're all looking for, you know, what that bigger answer is to life, you know, and
Yeah.
this movie paints such an entertaining way of dissecting that.
No, absolutely. I mean, that's a really good way of putting that final spin on it is like, yeah, when I think about that door and you don't get to see it either, it's like it then gets the viewer to want to be like,
Mm,
well, I want to see it too. And it's like a movie that almost inspires that thinking,
mm.
which I like.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah, I mean, anything else going closing out on Truman Show? I mean, I again, this was one of my picks.
It was a great pick.
What's your letterbox review for this one? Just out of 5 stars, what do you give this one?
I gave it a 4.5.
4.5. Hmm.
Yeah.
What kept it
Which
from
I think
that 5 stars? What was it? Because we haven't said
I think
anything
for
negative
me,
about this movie.
it's it's like the 5 stars, and I'm like this with whether it's books or music or whatever. It's something that has to stick in my mind for
Hmm.
weeks and weeks and weeks on end to get a 5 star. It has
Interesting.
to be something where I feel a tangible, like, connection to it
Okay.
too. That's just me personally. That's how I rate things.
Yeah,
Did
I
it
get you.
stick with me for, like, where I was thinking about it for weeks? Did I
Hmm.
feel something when I watched it that it, like, made me, and yes, I did feel that a little bit, but it didn't pass that threshold for me. But 4.5, considering for me to give out, is
Hmm.
really good.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, 4.5 is, I mean, in my that's a great movie. I
Mhm.
mean, that's almost perfect, you know?
Yeah.
So 4.5 is pretty dang good. I mean, the biggest question I have leaving this movie is I just want to know what the casting process was like for the Truman Show, like the in-universe Truman Show. You know, like most of those actors were working lifetime contracts to be on a TV show they can never watch. Like, what does
Right?
that look like? Like, what kind of career is that? You know, so like, I I I just want to, the logistics behind it is what I get caught up on. So I have to ignore that. You know, like there's a whole uh I don't know. There's a whole organization that put all this together, and I want to know that. You know,
No, I
so
was thinking that too.
yeah,
Like, I was specifically thinking about the wife. I'm like, "You got hired at 18 years old,
exactly
and it is in your contract to sleep with this man and produce a baby."
right. What kind of job is that?
And she
Who can
agreed.
expect me to continue under these conditions? You
Exactly right.
signed that contract.
That's exactly right.
I couldn't believe it.
You were not alone in thinking that. I was thinking that exact thing.
All right, great. I'm glad I'm not alone in that, because there are some logistical questions you leave this movie with, and you're like, okay. I mean, did people really sign up for that? Like, did you think? What did you think this was going to do for you? You know, what are you getting out of this? But
They got
that,
paid, or at least free housing.
yeah, family set for life. You know, even though you'll never see them again, probably.
Right.
Oh man, well, that's a sour note to leave it on. But thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the Truman Show. To anyone who's still here, yeah, this is, I mean, a story that reminds us to question our reality is always fun, you know, or at least to double check for hidden cameras in the bathroom. But
Exactly right.
next time, we're diving into a cult classic where the drink actually steals as much of the spotlight as the story itself.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Get ready for a conversation that's a little rich, definitely dense, and full of flavor.
Ooh.
Oh, I almost forgot about The Illusionist. I mean, it's the perfect drink to navigate existential crises with. Crises? Yeah, I mean, The Illusionist is smooth, it's classy, you know, helps you forget you might be living in a dome, you know. But you know, until our next episode, pour yourself out something you love. Cue up a favorite flick, and remember, the show must go on, but preferably with gin.
Good note to end on.
Bethanne, where can everyone find you?
You can find me at Bethanne Tarpley. I'm mostly on Twitter and Instagram, also on Red Note, but I only go there for cute pandas. So you can follow me if you want.
Okay.
I'm going to be looking at cat content mostly.
I love that.
Those cats are cute in China, man. Holy shit. They look like Swiss rolls.
What are they doing to cats in China?
They're cute. Their cheeks are so puffy. They dressed one up as a dragon the other day, and it was so cute.
Oh, I'm going to need to see that one.
I know. Don't worry. I'll send you some.
Okay.
But yeah, you can find me. Where can they find you, JRB?
They can find me, the people, on pretty much anything. The rebrand is complete, Bethanne. My new social media username is at ReelyJRB. That's really with 2 E's, 1 L. That's ReelyJRB. Super easy, super catchy, super funny if you're me. But yeah, Twitter or X, Letterboxd, Instagram, everything is ReelyJRB now. So follow me there. But you can find us at sippingoncinema. That's on Instagram, TikTok, if it still exists by the time this episode's out. Yeah. Anything else?
I have one last story really quick to end this on.
You told me about this, and
it's
so
okay.
this is what, episode 3 that we're recording?
Episode 3.
So episode 1 probably just dropped probably a month ago by the time this comes
and
out.
episode 2 is dropping tomorrow at the time of this recording.
Yeah.
So we'll have that out. But this is an official Yap session conversation, and in accordance with the law, I have to have another female present for the Yap session. So I'm bringing in our executive producer, Alexis. So I went to the ABC store, the liquor store, and guess who checked me out?
No.
Money-wise. His name is Tony. I thought it was John. It's Tony. And so I'm my drink today that I made has Irish whiskey. It has some kind of name, but it's like Irish whiskey, honey, ginger beer. So I go ask him, I was like, hey, do you have ginger beer here? And he goes, yeah, it's over there. So I grab it. And I just bring it up to him because me and him I don't know what it is about Tony. I like Tony. Tony and I have a natural. I like Tony. I liked Tony in episode 1 too.
He was asking you for ID without asking for the ID. I mean, he was trying to get to know you.
Tony's a side character now.
Tony is a side character on our show. He is the gay best friend that I need for this show.
Oh,
and
wow.
So, and basically, like, he, I'm checking out, and he goes, we're just, it's like, I just was like, yeah, I come here. I'm probably gonna be in here once a month. Like, I do a podcast and I drink on it. He's like, what's the name of your show? And I go, Sipping on Cinema.
Okay.
And, we're just kind of talking, we're kikiing a little bit. And then right before I leave, he's checking someone out. He's from New York. I'm from New York. So you got that part settled. And then as I'm about to leave, he goes, "Hey, what's the name of your show again?" I was like, "Sipping on Cinema." I made sure to say it right. But as I was leaving,
love that.
My paranoia kicked in. I'm like, "Oh shit, Tony's going to listen to this. I want to make sure I said everything good about Tony." Like on episode 1, which I'm pretty sure I did. I don't think I threw any tea or shade at Tony.
There might have been a little, well, actually it might've been from me, because I think I was insulting him saying it was his first day, but that was more so out of my own confusion.
Tony,
I think.
he apologizes.
He apologizes.
I'm apologizing for you.
I think
Tony
we were just giving him heck because he didn't check the ID.
Yeah. A lot of it was the ID.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
Tony.
Me and Tony, we got this now. Okay.
I mean, we might have to have you coordinate with Tony, get his info, and get him on the show. Are you down for that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hey,
okay.
Tony.
I mean, I did also say he has to be our first guest.
He legitimately said, "Oh yeah, if you need a guest," he literally said this.
Oh man, that's almost too perfect.
It in the back of my head.
This is how we grow. This is how we grow.
There might be a day where Tony is on this podcast. I'm going to keep it here. I'm going to develop the constituency that we got going on right now, the camaraderie, and we will see where it goes. But Tony is the side character of our show. He doesn't know it. He may know it.
I absolutely love that his name is Tony, and our first episode was about Tony Stark.
Yeah. Yeah, that's perfect.
Oh my God, it's a sign.
This is too good.
This is a sign.
We need to give him an unofficial business card. Tell him to email me.
Yes.
Cheers to Tony.
Cheers to Tony.
The official ABC store clerk of Sipping on Cinema. Responsible for inebriating the hosts.
Yes. To Tony.
That's perfect. I love it.
Thank you, Tony.
Anyway, that's it.
Tony. I love it. Tony, we're going to try to mention you every episode now. Until we get you on. I'm
coming with Tony stories moving forward.
I love it. This is really good. I like it. Tony, yes, please. Tony, why haven't you followed us yet?
Mm-hmm.
Follow us at Sipping on Cinema on Instagram, X, formerly known as Twitter, Letterboxd if you want to see what movies we're into. And
if you are named Tony in general, why aren't you following us?
Yeah, this is a safe space for Tonys.
My dad's name is Anthony. They call him Tony. He ain't following us. I'm going to call my father.
I would say you have an automatic advantage if you introduce yourself to me as Tony.
You just get an extra. We pour a drink out for Tonys on this show.
We
okay.
Do. Yes, absolutely. I love that. Thank you for that. Oh, Tony, the Virginia liquor store clerk. Love this. We're growing. Everybody's sipping. All right. That's going to do it. This is probably the longest we've gone so far.
Yeah.
Thank you all for staying with us through this and through the Truman Show. And if you're still listening, stay sipping.
Stay sipping.